And yesterday I had basically a cute little mental breakdown. It is actually the inspiration for this very video that you are watching now. Is this recording? It is. Okay, yeah, so you are watching it. Beautiful. Hey guys, what is up? Why would I start it like that? Oh my god. Hope you are doing well and as well as you possibly can be due to the times that we are living in. I feel like that's just gonna be the intro for every video now, because when are we not gonna be in difficult times? Please, please answer the question. I genuinely want to know. But I do seriously hope you are well, and I hope you are taking care of yourself, and I hope you're being gentle and kind with yourself, because this is quite a time. And yesterday I had basically a cute little mental breakdown. It is actually the inspiration for this very video that you are watching now. Is this recording? It is. Okay, yeah, so you are watching it. Beautiful. So I, alongside I'm sure many of you guys, have come to the realization that I spend way too much time on social media. Particularly for me, Instagram. Bless you! You're welcome. I spend an overwhelming amount of time on Instagram, and it's kind of gotten to the point where I'm a bit burnt out, and I'm recognizing the fact that it's an addiction. It's not a cute little hobby. It's not a thing that is just part of my world. It's an addiction. Oh, by the way, we're at a new angle right now. I'm on the same bed. We're facing a different way to switch things up, because that's quarantine, right? So I think we all have different issues with social media. I think a lot of us, we compare ourselves to people that we see on social media, and perhaps, you know, it affects our body image or our worth or where we are in our careers or whatever the case may be for you. And I've conquered that because I've cleaned up who it is that I'm following on social media, which I will also talk about later. But for me, I just realized that it's consuming so much of my time. It's taking all the time that I have. I'm on it. But what is unique to me, and many of you may relate, is the fact that my career requires me to be on social media. I picked a social and digital career as a multimedia journalist, and so I have no choice but to be on social media, literally. If it were up to me, I would live in a cabin in some sort of woods, and I would have no internet connection, and I would use a fireplace to light up my meats. I'm sorry, I'm fully losing it, as you can see. But the reality of it is that I need to be connected, and the truth is that social media isn't the issue. It's not getting rid of social media that's going to solve our problems. It's our relationship with social media. So I've taken a few steps back, I've taken a breather, and I've shared with other people how I felt, and surprisingly, so many people felt the same way, and so many people shared with me the ways that they are navigating breaking their social media addiction and using social media mindfully. And I wanted to share that with you because I think that these are really helpful tips that are helping me have a more mindful relationship with social media, and I think that they can help you as well. I feel so much better since implementing some of these, and you can too. But like I said, it's really important that we don't vilify social media, because it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. We wouldn't be the society that we are without social media. It's allowed us to connect with people all over the world, to meet people, to learn, to share, to teach. It's made our world smaller, and it's allowed us to spread awareness about things, and it's helped shape our culture. But we can't deny that it's also doing a lot of damage, so we need to make sure that we are doing our best to minimize the damage. And part of that is by taking our power back and taking our time back and our minds. Girl, I have been working on my spiritual counseling certification for way longer than I should be, and it's because my attention span is just, it's not there. I can't focus on anything. So I'm taking my power back, and I am changing that, and this is how you can take your own power back and how you can change that too, queen. The first thing I want to say is that if you can delete social media and you feel called to delete social media, go ahead and delete social media, honestly. I have a few friends whose careers aren't necessarily creative. They don't need to like sell or market anything, or you know, they don't need to be online, and so they just aren't. And they seem like really peaceful people. So like I said, there's a way to cultivate that same amount of peace while being on social media, which we're going to talk about. But I will also say that if you have the opportunity to not be on there and you feel called to, go. You don't like, go. We've lived a very long life without Instagram, and you can live a good one now without Instagram. Words. But if you are one of the very blessed individuals that are figuring out how to use social media mindfully, then my very first tip would be to start cutting back little habits that are toxic. They're not right. And you already know which habits these are, and I'm just gonna be vulnerable, and I'm gonna say that I was the kind of bitch who took my phone with me when I went to the bathroom so that when I peed, I would literally continue scrolling. What? Are you serious? That's gross, unhygienic, and downright insane. So now I've mindfully made sure to no longer do that. I also make sure to no longer have my phone and social media scrolling be the first thing that I do when I wake up, because y'all can't act like y'all ain't do it, but y'all know y'all do it. You wake up, you grab your phone, you look at your texts, you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, you know you do it. I did it too, and I would do it, and then I would go meditate, and then I would go back on my phone, and then I would start my day. And so now I don't do that. I wake up, I actually allow myself to gain consciousness. I go into my meditation, I am present in my meditation. I allow myself to still have a little bit of time with myself, and then I go on my phone. And just even like little shifts like that are huge in not letting your day revolve around social media. I feel like we're all a planet in the planetary system, and I think we've let our phones and social media be the sun that we are rotating around, and it's time that we stop that. So, you know, you don't need to dive in head first and go cold turkey, but just shifting those little habits will make a huge difference in your attachment to social media. There are also many apps that can help you break your relationship and your addiction to social media, including Flora, which is one that some of my beautiful, beautiful friends recommended to me, and I'm using, and it's so nice because you can actually plant a real tree with the amount of time that you spend not on social media. It's kind of like a timer that you turn on, and you can't really use your phone for anything else while that timer is on, and if you go the full time, it'll plant a tree, I think, or like it'll go towards a single tree that you plant. I don't know, but it does eventually lead to like a real life tree being planted. So not only are you helping yourself get mentally healthier, but you're also aiding the planet and like getting environmentally healthier. So love that. Definitely check out Flora. Also, there are many other apps that exist, and ones that already exist within your phone. Screen time is a thing, which screen time only works if you respect it, because I've had screen time on for quite some time, but then it'll be like, all right, you're over your limit on Instagram, and I'm like, ignore. So if you do use apps like screen time, then make sure you are committing to respecting them, because you're using them for a reason. It doesn't work if you're constantly like, ignore a limit, like. Next step up would be to give yourself hours within the day that you use social media. This is something that a friend of mine told me she does, and I am 1,000,000% implementing, and it's already made such a huge difference. But like, you know, if you have a 9 to 5, 9 to 5 are the hours in which you work, and then the rest of the day is yours. And so you should kind of treat social media like that. You know, for her, she did, I believe it was like 11 to 12 and then 7 to 8 were the times in which she allowed herself to be on social media. You can make your hours as long or as short as you want in whatever time of the day that you want, but it's a matter of like scheduling out the time that you are spending on social media and keeping it within that window, because you know, you can mindlessly scroll as long as you want if it's within that window. and then the rest of the day you have for yourself. It's not a matter of what you're doing, it's just a matter of how long you're doing it. It of course takes a certain amount of discipline, but you are capable, trust me. If you schedule it out and you respect and honor yourself in staying within that time frame that you've allotted, you'll just find so much freedom in your day. And it will also help conquer mindless scrolling. You know, if you know that you only have an hour to be online, you probably are going to be more intentional with the time that you spend online. You're probably going to check up on the friends that you actually care about, or go on the pages that you know bring you joy, or you know, read up on whatever news and whatever like spiritual accounts that you follow. Whatever it is, you're going to be intentional and direct with it, as opposed to if you have the whole day to mindlessly scroll, you're going to mindlessly scroll and consume just a bunch of like empty mashed potato content. Aside from giving yourself hours, you can also give yourself breaks in between. I know a few people who go maybe like 3 days online and then take 1 day off, 3 days online, take 1 day off, or 1 day online and 3 days off. It really is whatever, like I said, works for you and your schedule and whatever it is that you need to publish, because like I said, a lot of people's careers and financial well-beings are reliant on social media. So if that is you, then like I said, cultivate a schedule that works for you. But taking breaks in between can be a really nice mental reset and help you sort of get into a rhythm of not being so dependent on it, because if you're used to having days that you go fully without it, you'll be fine. If you're used to going a day or 3 days without it, then you're not gonna have this like dependency to be on it all day when you do allow yourself to be on it. Aligned with that is having blackout days. So that was my hip. So obviously, like I said, the blackout days can be whichever days for you. For me, I'm thinking of making my blackout days like Saturday and Sunday, just making my weekends mine, especially Sundays, because Sundays are a very sacred day for me. Not necessarily religiously, but I think you can make anything sacred if you treat it sacredly, and I choose to keep my Sundays very special. So having Sundays as one of the days where I don't go online is really special and important to me, and it also will give me more of an incentive to stay offline, because I think when we deem something as sacred, it's more of, we're more inclined to honor and respect the importance that we've put around that thing that we're keeping sacred. So for me, if Sundays are sacred to me, then keeping that as an offline day is just gonna make me, it's gonna make it more important for me to keep it an online day. It's gonna make me, at the very least, not even want to be online, because if I know that it's sort of tainting my experience, then why would I want to bring that energy into a day that is sacred to me? So whichever blackout days you choose, if you decide that this is a method that you want to take or something that you want to implement, make sure there are days that you want to keep sacred. You know, Tuesdays and Sundays are kind of my faves. So whether it's weekends or like Tuesdays and Sundays or Wednesdays and Sundays, whatever it is for you, like I said, make sure that you make that day special. Not even just like, this is the day that I go offline, but maybe this is also the day where I meditate an extra 30 minutes, or this is the day where I do a conditioning treatment in my hair. Whatever it is for you, just make sure that you honor that. And it is much easier to not be so reliant on social media, to not be so addicted to social media, if you practice presence. I am currently rereading The Power of Now by Edgar Tolle. This is in Spanish because I'm a bilingual queen, but that book is insanely powerful and a book that you need to reread every now and then. But there's so much power in us just being here and just being present, and not having this attachment to the future, the past, or our digital lives. It's very much a matter of connecting to what's real and what's tangible and what is right now. So if we practice being more present in our surroundings, in our conversations, in our environments, and what we're doing and what we're reading and what we're consuming, we won't feel the need to distract ourselves, because at the end of the day, social media is a distraction. It can be a distraction that helps build you or a distraction that helps destroy you, but it's a distraction. So when you find comfort in being present, and when you find comfort in the life that you're living right here and right now, you don't feel the need to numb it or escape from it. I think it is important to say that right now, I think more than ever, we are all really on social media because it is kind of our only way to feel a sense of community. It's the only way to really connect because we are all, to some extent, if you are honoring the boundaries that you're meant to be honoring, we are all kind of alone and in quarantine and we're isolated. So I think we should be kind to ourselves and understanding that we are doing the best within our circumstances. If we are seeking human connection and that's the only place that we can get it, then we have to, you know, give ourselves some leeway there. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of beauty in the lives that we are living, even if they are lives that are indoors. So we want to be able to allow ourselves to reconnect with right now and what real, tangible, physical life is. Speaking of reading though, there's another book that I would love to recommend to you. And I was recommended this book by Garrett Watts, my king. How to Break Up With Your Phone. It's written by Catherine Price, and it really, really, really made me feel seen and understood and loved, and it takes you down the path of not necessarily ridding yourself of your attachment to your phone, but cultivating a healthier relationship. So, and it also has a lot of like data and scientific facts on why it is that we are so enamored by our phones. So if you are seeking more knowledge in that and you want to hear it from an author's perspective, then that is definitely a good novel to start with. But once you step into a place where you realize that you now have a bunch of freed up time, now that you've disconnected a bit from social media, I would encourage you to replace that new time with new activities. And I mean, of course, those new activities can be like reading or seeking more knowledge, but you also don't need to like bind yourself to do something that is productive with your new time. That new time that you have freed up, you can allot it to just laying down and doing literally nothing if that's what you want to do. Dedicate it to whatever form of play it is that you want. Dance or go on walks or fiddle your thumbs. Seek knowledge or don't seek knowledge. Whatever it is that you do, don't feel like it needs to be something that is going to make you a better person and like deem you productive, but recognize that this is now time that you have to live your life. So what kind of life do you want to live? Do you want it to be more colorful, more playful, more adventurous? The choice is yours. The choice is yours. And when you are on social media, it is very important that you make a conscious effort to clean up who is showing up on your timeline and who it is that you're following. Because when we're on social media, we want to make sure that we're not spending it comparing ourselves to empty lives, bombarding ourselves with content that is just making us feel less about ourselves. So if you are spending time on social media, make sure that the people that you are following uplift you or teach you or you connect with or you see yourself in, you know? A very long time ago, I struggled with just like comparing where I was in my career or even my body image to people that I followed online, and then I kind of took a step back and I was like, who am I following online? And like, why is it Kylie Jenner? Like, that's not... And so little by little, I've really like reconstructed my following, and I've, especially during quarantine, I've found so many pages of people who are using their platforms kind of like the way that I'm using my platform, to spread knowledge and to help people connect and express and feel seen. So make sure that whatever time you are spending on social media is you're following people that you love and care about and actually want to see do well, and you want to keep up with their life, and be people who are inspiring you and bringing you light and are not draining you. You'll know, your energy will tell you if the person or the content that you're consuming is making you feel lower or if it's raising your vibration. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, I mentioned this earlier, but scrolling with intention is really, really, really important. I think the reason why we can lose so many hours on social media is because we scroll mindlessly. We get into this habit that feels good and that is like natural, intuitive, to just keep scrolling and to keep consuming and then getting into like these wormholes of like, well, who is this, who's that? And honestly, if you scroll with intention, you scroll to check up on the people that you love, to check up on the pages that you love, to connect with whoever it is that you want to check in on, and then you peace out. And that's scrolling with intention. Then you have much more control over the amount of time that you spent on Twitter or Instagram, and B, you're not consuming content that is just mindless, because you actually had an intention when you went on there and you fulfilled it. So those are some tips and tricks on how to, I think above all else, just like kind of gain control over your life again. I think, like I said, I really don't want to vilify social media. I don't think anything is good or bad. I'm really moving away from a place of duality and just seeing things as they are. And social media is just a tool. It's a tool, it's a platform for us to connect, and it can be beautiful if it is used correctly. And I think we've gone a bit off the deep end. At least I have, and I know that when I share it, a lot of people relate, so I'm sure you can relate too. But we don't have to delete it in order to gain back a healthy lifestyle. We can gain control by taking back our power and the amount of time that we spend on it and what we're consuming when we are on it. And know that I'm rooting for you, and you are capable and you can do it. We've had many years of existence without social media, and we can break it down and implement it back into our lives in a way that makes sense and is healthy. So I'm honestly, above all else, I made this video to hold myself accountable. Jazz, if you're watching this back, you're doing a good job, and I hope you're still doing a good job, future Jasmine. Oof. You better still be doing a good job. Oh my god. That is all I have for you guys today. If you want to hang out with me, you can mindfully, at some point, whenever you allot yourself the time, visit me on Instagram at JasmineKylene, or visit lalilaluna.tv for more content, conscious content like this.